Welcome everyone to today's Helm community meeting. It is April 7th, 2022. To kick us off, Bridget, do you want to do the announcements? I can just
Sure. I mean, you can just tell us, the announcements are pretty basic.
Yeah, so Helm v3.8.2 is planned for April 13th. There's a link to that. And then Helm v3.9 will be planned for May 11th. So does anyone else have announcements? Okay, cool. So we'll move on to discussions. The first one is Bridget's item. And do you want to talk about KubeCon Valencia?
Sure. I know that we have the maintainer track session, which looks like it's going to be in person, and that's exciting. So maybe Scott or Karen can talk about that. And then I know, Karen, you also set up a room for us, and I'm just kind of wondering, can you give people a quick overview of if they're going to be in Valencia, what they can expect and participate in?
Sure, yeah. So like Bridget mentioned, there is the maintainer track with our maintainers. So I think there are 4 speakers for that session. For the project booth, I will have, I believe we have the booth in the afternoons. So exact time CBD, if anyone will be there and would like to help support the booth, please let me know. I will create a schedule soon, and I'll probably ship our Helm bike bells as giveaways, since I still have a ton of those. And then also I will have little Helm iron-on patches as part of like my bigger swag project for KubeCon, but there will be Helm ones as well. And then there is a meeting room. So that's just a room that we have off to side, but it will be on site for one afternoon for a 4-hour block. So if anyone has any like users that they want to talk to, or just use this to meet with each other or whatever, that is space that is available to us. I think the exact time frames are listed in the notes down below. I will add them later. But yeah, that should be our presence on site. And then virtually, we will also be doing a virtual office hour session for those of us that won't be there in person.
Do we have somebody signed up for the virtual office hour session yet, or do we need to get someone signed up?
Not yet. I have the calendar invite. So if anyone is available, I'll need to double check the time zone, or it might be in the notes, but I can forward that on, and it will just be using CNCF's Bevy platform. So it's the same one we've been using for the last few KubeCons for the virtual events. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, next item is mine. As a graduated project, Helm gets, I believe, a CNCF like live webinar once a quarter. So I just wanted to check in and see if like anyone had a topic that they wanted to do or do a talk on. Usually they're about like 40 minutes to an hour, because you kind of include Q&A. So if there's anything that anyone wants to talk about, and this would be for the next quarter. So I guess April till June. Yeah. Please let me know and I can get us signed up for that. We get these against quarterly. So if it doesn't make sense to do by June, we can do the next quarter. But yeah, please let me know. I just remember that was a thing and I have to do it for my own work. So yeah. Oh. Okay, next discussion item. Farina, would you like to talk about getting charts by specifying the SHA 256 checksum?
Sure. So somebody reached out to me prior to our final release of the OCI work. You had the ability to fetch a chart by its digest checksum. And it turns out some people are actually using that. And so there's a pull request here about adding that functionality back. And I haven't dug too much into the technicalities of it and the implications, but I was wondering if anybody had and what their thoughts were on it. And the idea here is right now we require semantic version. All of our versioning is semantic version based. and we'd have to look over things like searching deals with repositories, and it doesn't deal with OCI registries because there's no API to do that. But we'd have to go through and just make sure that everything, still works and whatnot. But the idea was to deal with checksums.
So I can only speak for why we use this for images, but maybe it has similar reasons here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So this has the advantage of being immutable, right? So tags can be overridden. So from a security perspective, this is quite neat if you only have to sign like the top level parent chart, for example, and then all the others are basically because the parent chart is signed and gives the SHA of the others, then you don't have to verify a signature for those because of this chain of trust basically you build there. Yeah, I don't know how this would be leveraged for Helm charts. I can only say that we use this for, yeah, basically once you verified the signature and then you hard coded the SHA, then you don't have to re-verify it. That's how we do it for images, at least.
Yeah, and for images, that I understand that chain of trust. When it comes to the actual chart, it has to do with the fact, again, it's been explained to me that images are or tags are mutable, right? And they're mutable in Git, they're in version control, they're mutable all over the place, but their mutability becomes the issue. And I know things like Go, if you're dealing with Go like we are with Helm, Go, once you tag something and it ends up in the Go teams, the Google cache, module cache, you can't actually change that tag afterwards. It always still holds to the old revision. You can't move the tag. That's one of the things they did with their caching layer because they don't like that mutability. You always have to increment your tags. And I know we've had a couple of times on things where we cut a tag and we're like, oh, we screwed up. And you go to delete the tag and put a new version. You can't. Within seconds, it ended up populated and on popular things. And so I definitely understand that mutability here. Okay. Does anybody else have any thoughts?
I just wanted to mention what the note that Josh had put forward in one of the comments, suggesting that it should be a separate that it should be separate from version. I do not know quite where I stand on that because I feel like I want to learn a little bit more about what we should consider.
I know that at least Docker, when specifying images, supports that you specify a tag and a SHA. That way you could still rely on the tag for like chart versioning, but the SHA for the integrity.
Yeah, that's true. And one of the things that also occurred to me, charts are quite often moved from one place to another. And when you move a chart from one place to another, I know with images, the digest can change. I haven't actually looked to see what happens with the chart digest to see if those change when move from one registry to another. I wonder if Josh knows that.
We had this problem also before, and this is because it's a SHA of the image metadata, which is JSON, and it's subject to formatting, right? And it depends on the tool that you use there. So it can also happen for charts. I know we in the end ended up with Scopio to move our images around because this one actually makes sure that it doesn't change the SHA sum. So there are ways of moving charts around it without changing the SHA.
Yeah. Okay.
The thought I had is that people are using it. People were using it. So it seems like it should work. Adding another field in the chart manifest isn't going to work because that would require a API bump.
Well, What? Yeah, you can't add another field in the chart manifest, but this is something you'd want to specify when you're polling. And yeah, it wouldn't work in your dependency listing. So here, everybody talks about if you're just polling, but if you're actually doing it in dependencies, you're right, it's not going to work. And it comes, do you just do the SHA as a whole? In which case we've got to deal with some handling to separate the semantic version from the SHA. Okay.
Mhm. So what's the action item here really? Is it to maybe flesh out the list of concerns?
Right now, I'm trying to understand this a little bit better
Yeah.
in order to have a good opinion on what direction to give folks here. And the reason that this isn't a breaking change, of course, is because it was in an experiment before. And yeah. Okay. We just trying to understand it more in order to give direction, because this won't be in the next patch release. The soonest it could go is the next minor release, but we want to tee people up to be successful in that. And so what do we got to get folks to do? Okay. That's all I was looking for. Thanks.
All right, next discussion item is from Scott. You have a question for Farina about the tools for Helm blog post.
Yes, it's just it's just a short one because we can follow up separately. Yeah, just do you know off the top of your head what tools we should look at, or do you kind of want to like have a more focused
in truth, this has been off my mind with some other things going on, and so
Yeah.
I don't have enough. It's not fresh. It's still in the archives. I have to pull from there to be ready.
I'm with you. Yeah, no pressure. That was just an on the spot question. I can follow up with you. How about just
Follow up
as
with me.
Yeah.
Hit me up in Slack or Keybase. I can actually spend time on that this afternoon. So it's
Okay.
good timing.
Okay, great. And perfect. And just a quick update on that is that I mentioned this briefly in a past meeting, but and in the issue, or excuse me, and in the PR. But Bridget, thank you for putting me in touch with the orchestra maintainer. So we have I have some really good notes on that and enough information to fill this out. I would want to pass it by him to just get like yeah, that looks good. But my quick sketch when we met, he felt comfortable with. So at least we have that. Okay.
All right, next we have Karina with KubeCon follow-up questions.
I just thought of some stuff, mostly because, I'm trying to actually plan my travel this week, but it looks like the Helm meeting, I signed up for it, but it looks like it's on a day with all the colo events. So I'm not sure, at least it looked like it was on Tuesday. I'll have to go back, but.
Which meeting?
I don't know, I just saw something on the calendar when I looked at Sched. And it said Helm meeting and you had to sign up for it.
Okay. I'm not sure what that is. Okay.
All right. I'll Slack it to you then.
Okay. It'd be like the virtual office hour. I'm trying to check my calendar right now.
Okay. Otherwise, we'll have a bunch of people signing up for a Helm meeting and nobody knows.
What I have for that Tuesday is like I think that's the meeting room. I'm not sure why that's on Sketch because that's not like a public meeting space. Like it's kind of space meant for us as maintainers to utilize. So yeah, okay, we can follow up separately on that. But otherwise, like the actual like maintainer talk and like our staff hour or staff project booth hours and the virtual office hour should all be like Wednesday to Friday time period. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Bridget, that's the one where I signed up for something that said Helm. Okay. Helm, or Bridget put it into the chat. So my other question is from last KubeCon and then the other virtual KubeCons, is there something that we want to do to poll maybe the people that are there, what they'd like to see in the future for other, talks, presentations. Just, do we want to take the opportunity while people are there to do some sort of survey, or what do you think?
Do you have an idea of like the mechanism? Like, do you just mean like amongst each other or with like users? If we want to do users, we could do like a survey at the booth or something. I will be honest, in terms of like physical booth traffic, at least for the last conference, it wasn't super high. I mean, at this point, like we're a little further in the pandemic, maybe. I don't know if attendance will be better compared to LA, but I would say that from my experience, I think the traffic from like virtual traffic was better. That being said, like we could do that during the virtual office hour. I can do both, but would a survey be sufficient, do you think?
Yeah, I just wanted to see what you all thought about. Because each time, what do you think the community will want to hear about? Maybe we should ask them, or take the opportunity to see, what they're happy with or not, or are they still using certain features or not? Are they, what about the new stuff that's coming out, OCI? Are they, I don't know, just spitballing?
It's a good question. We with the meeting room, I might have missed any other ideas, but I think the only idea that was suggested so far was to use that as an opportunity to help us plan the next Helm Summit. In spitball, in the spirit of spitballing, I guess my question would be, like, would there be a benefit of having, I don't know, never, I'm going to backpedal from what I was just about to ask, because honestly, I think the booth is a really good place for people to know how to find Helm folks, because they're going to be on their own schedule, and even whether it's thin or whether there's a lot of people, I don't know if there's any real harm in putting together a questionnaire. We could just have it available for folks, worst case, and worst case, not many people fill it out, and best case, a lot of people do. And just forget what I was saying about the room, because I was just thinking, wow, that might complicate things a lot. So yeah.
Or, what would make it easier for them to contribute, or, kind of things like that as well. Maybe we could collaborate on a document for some questions.
Yeah, we can do the QR code, or I have like extra iPads I can bring and just have people fill it out on the spot. Because I think like we do have conversations at the booth, but then sometimes like there's no like, we're not like actively banking them. So like it's kind of like whoever like had that conversation might just walk away with it, but not necessarily like resurface it back to the bigger group. Yeah, we can start a doc and just like start throwing in potential questions. Just because like we probably don't want it to be super long, so we don't lose their interest, but get like a good scope for it as well. Cool. Okay, I will start a doc on that. Any other discussion points? All right, well then assignments for next week. Can we get someone to do notes and help with issue triaging? Oh, okay, actually Joe has signed up for that as well. Again, thank you so much, Joe. Can we get someone to do notes for next week?
I can do notes.
Cool. Okay, well, I think that's all we have then, unless anyone has anything else to add.
I have just real quick, sorry. I just noticed so we have a release next Wednesday. Unless I'm wrong, there's nothing in it. So I just wanted to bring that up maybe for who's kind enough to do it.
There are some things in it, and I'd like to get a couple more things in it. In particular, there are some of our dependencies have had security things in them, security updates. And so I would like to get those all published in that update. One of the security ones is landed already. One of them, I actually have the code open today, and I was poking at to see if we could get its security issues all updated and in by then.
Okay, these are
then-
commits that haven't been made yet.
Some of them have been made and already in, like the upgrade to the latest Kubernetes, what is it, 22.5, that landed today or yesterday. Then there was another dependency that had a CVE, and that's landed. They're not on the branch, probably on the release
Oh.
branch, but they're on main.
Okay, they need to be
cherry-picked,
picked.
though.
Okay,
They need to be
thank you.
picked. Yeah,
I was looking.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at anything that needed to be cherry picked to get that done for you before, but there was nothing marked.
Yeah, okay. That's probably a failure on mine and others' fault, but there is some stuff that needs to be cherry picked over to go out in that.
Okay, then we have a good release to come.
We do.
Great,
Yep.
thanks, Master.
Cool. Anything else? All right. We can wrap up today's meeting. Thank you everyone for attending. We will see you next Thursday at the same time. Thanks. Bye.
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 Bye-bye.